Today we're looking at adding and subtracting simple algebraic fractions. First thing here, this is just a bit of a revision of stage 4, then we'll get to the stage 5 content. So when you are adding and subtracting fractions, it doesn't matter if there are algebraic pronumerals in there. The steps are the same for adding ordinary fractions, which is to make sure that the denominators are the same. So steps, so it's the same as ordinary fractions. Make sure you write each fraction with a common denominator. Some of them are already with a common denominator. Then you'll just add or subtract the numerators. And simplify where possible. But not, you only simplify at the end with this. You can't go simplifying halfway through because you've got addition and subtraction signs, not multiplication. Okay, the first question. Are the denominators the same? So if they are, I prefer that you write it as a single fraction because you've got 8a minus 2a are both over 3. So what do we get? What's 8 minus 2? So we've got 6a over 3, and now we simplify. So girls, I don't want to see any simplification. You're not allowed to because you've got a minus sign. So what does that equal? What's 6 over 3? 2a. The next one. Our denominator's the same. I'd like you to write it as a single fraction. X plus 3x is, ladies, 4x over 8. Can you simplify 4 over 8? It's a half. Now you can put the 1, so it's a half x. Girls, you don't need that 1. How do you write that? X over 2. You don't, it's protocol, you don't normally write 1x. You can just write x. X means 1x. Okay, the next one, the denominators are not the same. Which denominator are you going to, look girls, you can go times, what are you going to times the first fraction by? 2 over 2. Second fraction by? 3 over 3. Now there's a quicker way. Instead of going times 2 times 2 times 3, you can just do this crisscross butterfly thing. So you go 2 times a, got it? Plus 3 times a. So you know that you're going to be multiplying this fraction, the first one by the 2, and the second one by the 3, over 3 times 2. You can make it one fraction all in one step. Are we, because girls, what I'm really going to be doing, I'm going to be going times 2 times 2, so I get over 6. I'll get 2a over 6. Then I'm going to go times 3 times 3, and I'm going to get 3a over 6. But if you do it this way, the crisscross, that times that times that, and the 2's multiplied by each other, you end up with the one denominator. And it's really a lot quicker. So what's 2 times a? So I'm going that times that times that, and then I'll be doing that times that. What have I got? 2a plus 3a is what? 2a plus 3a over 6, which is 5a over 6. Girls, the reason I'm trying to get you to do this, it's going to be a lot quicker when you get to do complicated ones, a lot quicker. All right, so girls, you know you're multiplying this fraction by 5 over 5, and you know you're multiplying this one by 3 over 3. What's the new denominator going to be? 3 times 5, which is 15. So what do I multiply the 5 by? 5 by 4x, put it in brackets, then I go take away. What am I doing next? So 3 times 2x. Are we okay with this, girls? That times that times that times that. This is only for adding and subtracting, not for multiplying or dividing. Multiplying and dividing, we know the rules. Multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms. When dividing, change the divide to a times and flip. With this, you've got to make common denominators for adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, so that times that times that, and the denominators, 3 times 5 is 15. What do you get, girls? What's 5 times 4x? 20x minus 6x over 15. Please do not do cancelling here with the 15 and the 20. Why? Because of that minus sign. If you go back and look at everything else we've done in the last 2 lessons, the only time you cancel is if there was a multiplication symbol there, not with a pluses and minuses. And we did have pluses and minuses before, but they were in brackets with like x plus 4, but it was in a whole bracket with another x plus 4 may have cancelled. This is different. Do not cancel. What's 20x minus 14x? So, minus 6x? 14x over 15. The next one, what times what? That time, oh no, actually, no, I'm not going to do that one like that. I'm not doing that one like that. What am I going to do? What's easier? What denominator can you get? So girls, I'm going to do this the old method, times 3 times 3. So girls, if one denominator easily goes into the other, we're just going to make both denominators 9. So we're going back to old method. What's 5a times 3? 15a over 9 plus 2a over 9. Girls, please don't just blindly crisscross every time you see an addition or subtraction problem. If the denominators are the same, you don't need to do it. If one denominator can be easily transformed into the other, you just do that by timesing like that. So we've got what? They're both over 9, so 15a plus 2a is what? 17a over 9. Okay, that's what you would have learnt last year. For those that do not like the crisscross method, this is what you would do. You look at it and you say, I'm going to make the denominator 15. So I'll be multiplying the first fraction here by 5. So I go times 5 times 5. And this second one gets multiplied by 3 times 3 times 3. So 4x times 5 is 20x. 3 times 5 is 15. Take away. 2x times 3 is 6x. 5 times 3 is 15. If you're more comfortable with that, you can do that. Which is, denominators are the same now. So 20x minus 6x is 14x. Okay? Same with this other one, a over 3 plus a over 2. You'll decide that the denominator is going to be 6. So the first fraction gets times by 2. And the second fraction gets multiplied by 3 over 3. A times 2 is 2a over 6 plus 3a over 6. Denominators are the same, 5a over 6. If you prefer it like that, that's fine. Not sure if I recorded that. If you don't like doing that crisscross method, you can just do it with the traditional method. Multiplying, denominator is going to be 15, multiplying by 5 over 5 and 3 over 3. And this one, if you want a denominator of 6, multiplying by 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 and times 3 times 3. Okay, before you start adding and subtracting, just notice with these ones, they're different to the others. We've got pronumerals in the denominator, and some of them we have pronumerals in the numerator and the denominator. It doesn't matter. Your aim is to make the denominators the same. That's it. Once the denominators are the same, so steps, rewrite each fraction with a common denominator, and then we'll just add or subtract the numerators. So girls, looking at these two here, I need this 3a to really, can I make it into a 6a by timesing by what? So I'm going to go times 2 times 2. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator of the first fraction by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3a times 2 is 6a. So I'm not going to touch the second fraction. Okay, girls, you know what we'll do? We're just going to stick with the old method, no fancy crisscross. All right? We just stick with the old method. It's just that each of the questions are a little bit different. And unless you truly, truly understand when you can use the other method, I think we're just better off with this method. Making the denominators the same, so only this one needs changing. See, I wouldn't be doing that times that, that times that, because you end up with really big denominators where you don't need them. All right? So girls, denominators are the same, which are 6a. What do I do with the numerators? I just add them. 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, the next one. 5f and 4f. Look, the f's are the same, but the problem is the 5 and the 4 are not the same. So 5 and 4 makes 20. 5 times 4. So how am I going to get this one into a 20? Times by 4 times by 4. And this other one times by 5 times by 5. So 4 times 4 on the numerator for the first one is 16 over 20f. Take away What have I got? 15 over 20f. Denominators are the same, which is 20f. Are we okay, girls? You can even write somewhere that you want. Look, the f's are the same. You just got to make the numbers the same in this one. With the first one, the a's were the same. That's fine. Just need the 3 and the 6 to become the same number. What have we got, girls? What's 16 minus 15? 1. The next one, girls. Now, you've got to look here at numbers and x's. So your aim is to get the numbers the same on the denominator and get the x's the same. All right, what do you think I'll multiply this first fraction by? I definitely need a 2. What do you think? So, girls, I don't want... So this one, what's my lowest common denominator, do you think? 2 x what? X squared. It's not 2x cubed, okay? It's 2x squared is what I need to make my new denominator. I look at the numbers and I say 2. Both denominators have to have a 2. This is an x squared, so this one needs to be an x squared. So how am I going to turn this first one? What do I multiply it by? Just 2. And this one by 2. And so the 2's are the same. There's a 2 in both denominators. Great. But this denominator's got an x squared and this one's only got an x. So what do I multiply this one by? Times x times x. Now I'll make this bigger for the back. So I've decided here we want a 2x squared. Or you can just look at it. This one's missing that. The other one's missing that. It's as simple as that. So 3 times 2 is 6 over 2x squared. Take away what? 1 times x is x over, again, 2x squared. Denominators are the same, so you can write your denominator out. And what's 6 minus x? 6 minus x. They're not like terms. They can't be added or subtracted. It's not 6 minus 1. It's 6 minus x. You've got numbers and x's. They can't be added. So your answer is 6 minus x over 2x squared. Now with the next one, try not to make the denominator 48. Which times tables? 6 and 8. If you do go 6 and 8 is 48, what you should always do, halve it, see, because they're both even as well. So 6 times 8 is 48, but halve it and say half of that's 24. Do 8 and 6 go into 24 as well? Yes. So if you're not sure what the new denominator is going to be, yes, do the 6 times 8, but then halve it and see if half of 48 is 24. Yes, they do both go into 24. Now the ends are the same, so I don't need to work on the pronumerals. I only need to make the numbers the same. So if I want my new denominator to be 24n, so my new denominator is going to be 24n. Okay, what do I do with the first fraction to get 24? Times, I want 24. Times 3 times 3. Second fraction times 4 times 4. So what have we got? 9m times 3 is 27m over 24n minus 20m over 24n. Denominators are the same, so you can write that out. What's 27m minus 20m? 7m. Okay. Be careful. The next one, remember, you're only trying to make the denominators the same. 12 and 4. Please don't make it 48. Yeah, you just need to multiply the second fraction by what? Girls, I need the denominators to be the same. Can you change the 4 into a 12 easily? How? Good. Times 3 for the top. Which one are you going to times? How am I going to times the whole of the numerator by 3? You're going to put it in brackets. So I'm going to put that in brackets, and that'll be times 3. Now, when we do that, so the first fraction will stay the same because it's already over 12. Plus, you know that 3, should I put it at the back of the brackets or the beginning of the brackets? Yeah, because that's how we like to see it. 3 bracket w minus 1 over 12. Are we okay with that? So, one denominator, girls, they're both 12. It's much easier to do this we've got to be careful with the last one. So we've got 2w minus 5. Now, can we expand? What have you got?
3w.
Plus 3w. What have you got? Well, it's plus 3 times minus 1, which is minus 3. Just pretend, see, that's why I like to write it all over one denominator. It just becomes like an expansion. 2w minus 5, then we've got a positive times a positive is plus 3w. A positive times a negative is minus 3w. Now, girls, you've got to add and subtract like terms here. 12 is the denominator. What have you got? 2w plus or minus 3w? Plus, which is 5w. Then you've got minus 5 minus 3. Very good. Down 5 and down 3. You're going up and down the elevator. Down 5, down 3. You've gone down 8. Okay, the last one. Girls, what's your denominator going to be? 20. Great. Let's just put these in brackets because we've got more than one thing on the numerator. What are you going to multiply the first fraction by?
4.
So times 4 times 4. And the second one? Times 5 times 5. So we've got 4 bracket 3c plus 10 over what? We've got one denominator now. I'm going to just put it over the 1. 20 minus. So girls, I know I didn't write one fraction up there originally, but you can. Both denominators are 20. Make one fraction. Makes your life a lot easier, believe me. What are you going to do now? Where am I going to put that 5? So I put the minus. What do I write next? 5 bracket c minus 3. We've got one denominator because once the denominators are the same, do one denominator. It's much easier. Now we need to expand this numerator. What have we got? Like what we were doing the other day. 4 times 3c is 12c. 4 times 10 is 40. They're both positive. Now be careful here. What have I got? Minus 5c. Be careful with the last one. Minus 5 times c is minus 5c. Minus 5 times minus 3 is plus 15. Now, half the people will get that, will make that mistake, and they still make it in senior. They keep making it. All right? That's why we write the one denominator, and it's just like you're doing an expansion like we were a few lessons ago. Do you understand why I put the minus here? Because of that. 5 bracket c minus 3. Minus times plus is minus. Minus times minus is plus. Okay, girls, what have we got? The denominator's 20. What have we got? 12c minus 5c is plus 40 plus 15. Up 40 and up 15. You're up 55. Your turn now to try and do these questions, and I'll restart the video when you're ready. Through these, the e's are the same, so you don't need to do anything with that, and we've got 20 and 5. The easiest way is to change, we want a denominator of 20e, so we'll times this second fraction times 4 over 4. So we've got 17 over 20e plus 8 over 20e is 25 over 20e. Now we can simplify 25 over 20 because 5 goes into 25 and 20, so we get 5 over 4e. And just leave it written like that. The e is on the denominator. Do not try and write mixed numerals and things like that. You'll get into a very big mess there. So just leave it as 5 over 4e because 25 over 20, you're dividing them both by 5. The second one, the t's are the same, so we don't have to worry about those. We just need to get the numbers the same, 3 and 7. So we'll times this first one by 7 over 7, and the second fraction gets multiplied by 3 over 3. 2 times 7 is 14 over 21t minus, second fraction, 4 times 3 is 12 over the same denominator, 21t. Now that the denominators are the same, 14 minus 12 is 2. With the third question, you need to look at the numbers separately and the y separately. This first one is missing a 3, so we'll times that, the first fraction by 3. And the first fraction here has a y squared, but the second fraction's only got a y. This one needs an extra y as well. So both denominators now will be 3y squared. So the first fraction, 5 times 3 is 15. The second fraction, 2 times y is 2y. They're both over 3y squared. Now that the denominators are the same, you will subtract. However, these are not like terms, 15 minus 2y, so you can't simplify that any further. It'll be 15 minus 2y over 3y squared. The next one, the g's are the same, no need to touch those. 10 times 4 is 40, but let's see if we can get something smaller than that. Half of 40 is 20. Yes, 10 and 4 both go into 20. So we just need to make the numbers the same, times 2 to give us 20, times 5 to give us 20 there. 9a times 2 is 18a over 20g. Take away 3a times 5 is 15a over 20g. Now that the denominators are the same, we can write a single denominator and we can subtract the numerators. 18a minus 15a is 3a. 3a over 20g cannot be simplified. Okay, the denominator here, 6 times 7 is 42. So we'll be multiplying the first fraction by 7, and the second fraction gets multiplied by the 6. So we've got 7 bracket m minus 3 over 6 times 7 is 42, plus 6 bracket m plus 6 over 42 as well. Girls, I prefer you to write it as a single fraction. It'll be much easier when you expand. Expanding this, we get 7m minus 21 plus 6m plus 36 all over 42. 7m plus 6m is 13m. Minus 21 plus 36 is plus 15 over 42. The last question. We want to make the denominator 12. Timesing the first fraction by 4 and the second fraction by 3 equals 4 bracket 2x plus 5 all over 12 minus 3 bracket x plus 3 equals 8x plus 20 minus 3x minus 9 over 12 equals 5x plus 11 over 12. Okay, homework is exercise 2.8.